Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Monday, the 18th of March. Indian Foreign Minister meets Maldivian leadership in Malé to boost ties. Sindhi activists raise voice in Geneva against brutalities by Pakistani forces. And Afghanistan's Chief Executive calls on politicians to prioritize national interest. And now for all the details. Indian Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj met Maldivian President Ibrahim Mohamed Solih on Monday in Malé to boost bilateral ties between the two countries. During a two-day visit, Swaraj also signed agreements on development cooperation and renewable energy and inaugurated a newly renovated hospital which was built with Indian assistance.
Indian Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj met Maldivian President Ibrahim Mohamed Solih on Monday in Malé to further boost bilateral ties between the two countries. Both the leaders during their talks took stock of the progress made in bilateral relations since President Solih's official visit to India in December 2018. Swaraj's Maldivian counterpart Abdullah Shahid was also present during the meeting. Earlier on Sunday, Swaraj had also held a separate bilateral meeting with her Maldivian counterpart, and both the sides exchanged agreements on visa facilitation for diplomatic and official passport holders, development cooperation and renewable energy. Early on Sunday, the Indian Foreign Minister also inaugurated a newly renovated Indira Gandhi Memorial Hospital in the Maldivian capital. She dedicated the hospital to the people of the Maldives. The hospital was built in 1995 with Indian assistance and is the largest government healthcare facility in the country. India and Maldives have had fluctuating relations in terms of diplomatic and defense ties, with mostly on the positive side. India has helped Maldives in improving its surveillance capabilities and has permanently based its 2 helicopters there and other technological aids in defense.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and several top political leaders on Monday paid tributes to Chief Minister of India's Goa province and former Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar, who passed away on Sunday evening at his residence in Panaji city. The 63-year-old senior leader of India's ruling Bharatiya Janata Party was suffering from a pancreatic ailment since last year.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman and several top political leaders on Monday paid tributes to Chief Minister of India's Western Goa province and former Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar, who passed away on Sunday evening at his residence in Panaji city. The 63-year-old senior leader of India's ruling Bharatiya Janata Party was suffering from pancreatic ailment since last year and had undergone treatment in the United States as well as New Delhi for the same. He was to be accorded a state funeral with full military honours later in the day. On March 14th last year, Parrikar took charge as Chief Minister of Goa. Previously, the leader had served 3 times as Chief Minister of the province. Considered to be a close aide of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Parrikar served as India's Defence Minister from May 2014 to March 2017. During his tenure, India signed a deal to buy 36 Rafale fighter jets for around 7.8 billion euros from France. Parrikar is survived by his 2 sons. His wife passed away in 2001.
In news from Pakistan, relatives and friends of Naeem Rashid and his son Talha gathered in the Pakistani town of Abbottabad on Sunday to mourn the death of the 2 who were killed in a mosque attack in New Zealand. National flags remained at half-mast on Monday to mourn the deaths of at least 9 Pakistanis killed in the shootings at 2 mosques in New Zealand.
Relatives and friends of Naeem Rashid and his son Talha gathered in the Pakistani town of Abbottabad on Sunday to mourn the death of the 2 who were killed in a mosque attack in New Zealand's Christchurch. Naeem Rashid has been hailed as a hero as he appeared on a video of the attacks, trying to intercept the gunman at the Al Noor Mosque before being shot. The Pakistani government has announced Naeem's family will be awarded on March 23rd for his bravery, and flags were to remain at half-mast on Monday to mourn the killings of at least 9 Pakistanis in the shootings at 2 mosques in New Zealand.
My Chachu and Talha, they left a message for every human being in the world. And that message is that if you see something happening and that is not good for other humans, or if that is hurting other people, you give your everything to save them, and even if it means giving out your life.
Meanwhile, vigils were held across Pakistan on Monday as prayers were said and candles lit for the victims of the Christchurch mosque attacks. At least 50 people were killed at 2 mosques last Friday when a gunman opened fire on worshippers during the Friday prayers. The attack, which New Zealand's Prime Minister labelled as terrorism, was the worst ever peacetime mass killing in the country. The shooter, a suspected white supremacist, was arrested within 36 minutes after the attack started and charged with murder on Saturday.
Moving on, Sindhi political activist highlighted the issue of cross-human rights violations by Pakistani security forces in Sindh province during an event organised on the sidelines of UNHRC session in Geneva. The activist demanded the United Nations to send a fact-finding commission to Sindh to probe the enforced disappearances and extrajudicial killings being committed by Pakistani forces.
Sindhi political activists recently highlighted the atrocities being committed by the Pakistani security forces in the Sindh province during an event in Geneva. The event titled Human Rights Violations in Sindh was organized on the sidelines of the ongoing 40th session of United Nations Human Rights Council or UNHRC in Geneva. The activists demanded that the United Nations should send a fact-finding commission to Sindh to probe the abductions, enforced disappearances and extrajudicial killings being done by Pakistani army to muzzle dissenting voices in the province.
United Nations should send a commission, fact-finding commission to Sindh. Because Sindh has got many violations. They should investigate. They should put pressure on Pakistan. And if Pakistan do not comply with these findings, they should bar them from the United. They don't have the right to commit these crimes and sit in the United Human Rights Council.
The activists also alleged that there is significant poverty, malnutrition, displacement and deaths in Sindh, and those who raise their voice against the atrocities are abducted and killed. Sindhi activists have for long been requesting the international community to take notice of the violence inflicted by Pakistan against their peaceful struggle.
In news from Afghanistan, Afghanistan's Chief Executive Abdullah on Sunday called on politicians to prioritize national interest before expressing their views on certain issues. He made the remarks indirectly referring to National Security Advisor Hamdullah Mohib's statement to U.S. Special Envoy Zalmay Khalilzad and his efforts for Afghan peace.
Afghanistan's Chief Executive Abdullah on Sunday said politicians should value the country's national interests before expressing their views on certain issues. He made the remarks indirectly referring to the recent statement by National Security Advisor Hamidullah Mohib about U.S. Special Envoy Zalmay Khalilzad's efforts for Afghan peace. During his trip to Washington, D.C. last week, Mohib said Khalilzad is keeping the duly elected Afghan government in dark and that in the latest round of talks in Doha, they were humiliated and made to wait in a hotel lobby.
بحث سیاست خارجی افغانستان بحث منافع ملی کشور ماست. بحث سلیقه‌ای، بحث احساساتی و بحثی که ما یک بار همه دستاوردهای مردم افغانستان و قربانی‌های دیگران را در پهلوی مردم افغانستان فراموش کنیم نیست.
Abdullah said he believes that there is no reason to worry about the backdoor peace talks between the United States and the Taliban. He said United States has made great sacrifices and invested significant resources to help Afghanistan's security and development.
After winning the world's best, a US-based reality show with his dazzling performances, piano prodigy Lydian Nadaswaram now aims to become a composer for Hollywood movies. The 13-year-old, who hails from India's southern Chennai city, bagged $1 million prize money in the finals for playing 2 pianos at a time at an impeccable speed.
Hailing from a musical family in India's southern Chennai city, teenager pianist Lydian Nadaswaram recently won an American talent hunt show, The World's Best. The 13-year-old, who has performed all over the world, has said that now his life's ambition is to go to the moon and play Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata. He won the $1 million prize money associated with The World's Best, playing Beethoven's Für Elsie and Etudes by Frédéric Chopin on 2 pianos simultaneously for the finals.
My ambition, I want to go to the moon and play the Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata, and I want to become the world's best pianist, and I want to do a lot of albums, my own independent music albums, and then I want to become a composer for Hollywood movies, especially for animation movies.
He's in his 18th month. He started playing drums. That is like tapping on the floor with a proper beat, and it's like a loop. For a continuous 50 to 60 bars, he'll be playing the same loop at the same tempo, not even a single dynamic missing. And it's like amazing thing. And so very next day, I started investing on instruments for him.
Lydian Nadaswaram can also play blindfolded with equal ease and has wowed the audience at Ellen DeGeneres' talk show as well. He presently studies music from the school of Academy Award winner Indian musician A.R. Rahman.
With the Festival of Colours, Holi just round the corner, people in India's northern Uttar Pradesh province are ringing in the festivities with celebratory music, food and cheer. The Spring Festival signifies the triumph of good over evil. It also celebrates the eternal love of Lord Krishna and his consort Radha.
The revelry of India's springtime festival of colours, Holi, is taking over India's northern Uttar Pradesh province as locals as well as tourists are participating in the celebrations. Mathura, Nandgaon, Aligarh and other parts in the region of Brij are considered to be the land of Hindu Lord Krishna, and Holi is celebrated with special fervour in this region throughout the week differently. In Mathura, people were seen smearing each other with colours, singing folk songs and dancing to the beats of traditional instruments.
I'm feeling amazing and crazy sometimes. Yeah, I'm playing Holi. I'm second time. I was last year in Vrindaban and Baldev, but in Barsana and Nandgaon I'm first time. And what is great, the religious engagement of people, and also that this is local character also.
Similar scenes were seen in Aligarh, where men and women played traditional musical instruments, sang and danced, celebrating the festival together. The festival of Holi, which signifies the victory of good over evil for many, is also a festive day to meet, forget and forgive and repair broken relationships. Further east, India's spiritual capital of Varanasi is preparing itself for Holi in its own way. Bhang, a popular government-regulated form of cannabis, is an integral part of the celebrations in the city. Around Holi, the consumption of cannabis increases as people enjoy mood, mix it in their refreshments, sweets and also use it as a religious offering to Hindu god Shiva.
होली में भी अच्छा होता है, ठंडाई बनाते हैं लोग, पीते हैं, मस्ती में रहते हैं, बाबा को चढ़ाते हैं.
The festival of Holi brings together people from all classes and age groups as they play with colours, distribute sweets and take out processions. Holi, or the Festival of Colours, falls on March 21st this year.
Well, that's all we have for you from South Asia this evening. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.